And so y'all think I just pick on viewers for drama. I don't do that. I talk about nonsense and BS, and if somebody's gonna make a video explaining something good about something, well, I'm gonna promote that as well. Coach Greg, and in today's video, the best and worst forms of cardio promoted by Remington James. And so all too often I see people discouraging people from doing cardio. We have Mike O'Hearn and others saying you shouldn't do a bunch of cardio. Cardio's bad. Probably die age 57 if you do marathons. And so in this video, I'm gonna watch Remington's video, explain what he said right, wrong, and add to it when need be, and so that you can understand what kind of cardio should you be doing to burn the most calories, burn the most fat. Stay tuned, find out.
Cardio is a game changer when it comes to speeding up your results. I always preach this, but even just 20 minutes a day can drastically change your physique, make you burn way more calories, and get to your end goal that much faster.
And so he says, cardio, it's a game changer. 20 minutes a day, 7 days a week, well, that would be 140 minutes. That's just 10 minutes shy of what I keep preaching, and others. 150 minutes of cardio a week can increase life expectancy 3.8 years.
Now, when it comes to a treadmill, I see a lot of people doing this, and they're wasting their time, if we're just being completely honest. If you're just walking on a treadmill, you could do that outside. I think that that's a waste of time.
Listen, it's never a waste of time, no matter what form of cardio you're doing. No matter how slow, fast, or short in duration that it is, it's never a waste.
What we want to do is when we turn it on, a lot of treadmills are going to have an incline function and a speed function. The incline function is going to be our best friend.
And I state this in every single coaching plan that I do. Anytime I talk to someone, I say, incline treadmill, not flat.
And now, instead of just walking, we are walking uphill and burning way more calories than if we were just walking straight on.
Exactly. 15% walking uphill burns way more calories, and what he doesn't state is exactly how many more. It's literally double the calories. That's right. If you walk up a hill at a 15-degree incline versus walking on a flat, you're burning double the calories. Now, granted, you're probably not going to be able to walk at the same speed because you're going uphill. Remington seems to be in great shape, does a lot of boxing training and so on, and so he's able to walk 3.5 miles an hour while walking uphill. And so instead of doing 40 minutes of flat walking, he can do 20 minutes of incline walking instead. Now, if you're not in amazing shape and you can't walk at the same speed uphill as you can on a flat, you can, of course, walk slower. It won't burn double the calories, perhaps only 1.5 times as much. But think of it, is that not better? Is that not a great way to progressive overload your cardio?
And what I did that got me through a ton of 40-minute cardio sessions is I will put Netflix on my phone, put it right here, and I have a show that I only watch while I'm doing cardio, right?
And so another piece of advice he gives is you can watch your favorite show, Netflix. You can watch Coach Greg and chill. I can scream at you like I am right now while you're doing cardio. Makes the time fly by. Get the dopamine from watching a show, dopamine doing the cardio, double up on the dopamine, make the cardio more fun and enjoyable than last time. But notice Remington is holding on to the treadmill. And so if you hold on, it's going to decrease your calorie burn by approximately 30%. And so if you hold on and it says you burn off 500 calories, well, you got to subtract about 150. And so in reality, you're only burning about 350 calories. And so please remember that. If you're holding on doing cardio, you're decreasing your calories burned. This is important. You don't want to overestimate the calories that you're burning. And I'm not saying not to hold on. If you want to hold on while doing cardio, by all means do it. Just understand that the calories displayed on the machine are going to be an overestimation of how many you're actually burning.
After I was burnt out on the incline treadmill after a few cuts, the elliptical was the next cardio machine I used for my entire prep, and I got lean as heck on this thing.
And next up, the elliptical. And if I had to rate which is better, overall, I'm going to tell you the elliptical. The elliptical, you're using both your legs and your arms at the same time. The more muscles you can use during your cardio, the better. It becomes an overall greater calorie burn because you're using more muscles. Think of it. If you add in your arms are burning calories, your legs are burning calories, you're able to push more watts, you're having more overall power being put into the machine. And so take the opposite example. Cardio equipment when you're sitting down, only using your arms. Very difficult to burn a lot of calories when only using your arms. Oftentimes people who can't walk, perhaps you're in a wheelchair, they don't have the choice. They can't walk on a treadmill or do the elliptical. And so they'll pedal away using their arms. It still burns calories, still obviously better than nothing, but not going to burn as many calories in the same amount of time as doing an elliptical.
This is the resistance. What I like to do is take this up, and typically on average with these, I'll go to about a 12. They usually go to about 20. And what this does is makes the entire pedaling process a lot more difficult.
And so you ever notice you're looking around the room and some people, they're doing the elliptical 100 miles an hour, bam, 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 back and forth. Do you think that they're actually burning more calories? It's not how fast you go, but how much power you're putting out. And so if you're on the elliptical with resistance level 1, you're hardly burning any calories. I quite literally zoomed in. It said watts 17. To find out how many calories you burn, you simply multiply that by 3.6. Probably never knew that. And so 17 times 3.6 means he's burning 61 calories per hour. Imagine riding that machine for an hour to burn 61 calories. And in comparison, he says, put the intensity up. Put it higher. It's not about how fast you go. It's about how much power you're putting out overall. Compare it to doing a bench press. If you bench press 1 pound like this, 100 miles an hour, you're not going to build as much muscle as if you put on 100 pounds, even though you're going slower.
I'll go to about a 12. They usually go to about 20. And what this does is makes the entire pedaling process a lot more difficult.
And so he says he usually puts up to a 12, and you can see the watts getting in over 100. And so if it's at 100 times 3.6, he'd be burning 360 calories per hour. Build it up to 200 times 3.6, 720 calories per hour. And so your goal should be to progressive overload. Perhaps on day 1, you're starting at level 2, 3, 4. And from there, you go harder than last time.
Take that resistance, raise it up to a point where it's not difficult. This shouldn't feel like you're trying to pedal a Flintstones car, but it should be a little more challenging. See?
And so if you don't know how many calories you're burning, please look at the watts. Remember, the watts is a measure of how hard you're actually going. Are you putting out more watts on the treadmill, the elliptical, the bike? And so if you're trying to maximize calories burned, find the machine that you're able to put out the most calories on. And so, for example, I continuously have ridden the bike, and so I can put out more watts on a bike than I can on a treadmill. But if you're a trained marathon runner, you're clearly going to burn more calories on a treadmill than you will on a bike. You're more used to it. And so whatever you train for, that is the cardio that your body is going to burn the most calories. It's in fact the exact opposite of what these morons keep telling us. If you run all the time, all your calorie burning, it goes down. Bull frigging shit. Whatever exercise you do, the more often you do it, the better you get at it, the faster you can go, the greater the intensity, the greater the angle of steepness, and so you're going to burn more calories.
And if we take a look at the screen right here, you see how this is on a 1.
You'll also notice as I zoom in something that says METs, M-E-T-S, that's metabolic equivalence. And so if you're exercising at a MET of 1, it means you're just sitting down doing nothing. 1 at MET is actually defined as using 3.5 milliliters of oxygen per kilogram of body weight per minute. But who needs to know that? It's how many calories you're burning sitting your ass down doing nothing. And so if you're exercising at 2 METs, you're literally going twice as hard as if you're sitting there. After all, when you're sitting down doing nothing, you're still burning calories. You have to live. Your body is still breathing. And so the harder you go, the greater the intensity, the steepness, the incline, the more oxygen you're going to use. Notice how your breathing goes up. That's because the body requires more oxygen, deliver nutrients to the muscles, and also releases carbon dioxide. And so the greater the METs, the more calories you're burning. And so your goal when doing cardio is to become a better butter burner. And one thing you can do is see how much you increase your METs. If you first start out and can only exercise at a MET score of about 4 or 5, you're on the elliptical and it's at 4 or 5 and you find it hard, you can't go harder than that, means you're out of shape. Sorry, have to tell you the truth. And so you're exercising along at 5, that's the best you can do. Gotta start somewhere. But consider this, if you go up by 1 point, 1 MET, go from a 5 to a 6, it decreases your risk of cardiovascular disease by 10 to 20%. That's for 1 point increase. And so consider this, even when I'm warming up on the bike, I'm at well over 12 METs. That's my warm-up. But the vast majority of people can't even sustain 10 METs.
There's obviously a decreased mortality risk for maintaining a minimum level of cardiovascular fitness, which I think it's measured at about 8 METs, which is approximately the amount of cardiovascular fitness, it requires you to walk up maybe 3 flights of stairs with a bag of groceries and not fall over and pass out.
However, why settle for mediocrity? Try to be all that you can be. You never know when you're going to get sick or injured, and if you're only at an 8 and you stop training for an extended period of time, perhaps you had an operation, you're going down to a 7, 6, 5. Before you know it, you're really out of shape. And so Remington doesn't touch on METs, but he's doing his best to promote people to exercise because he knows just how invaluable it really is.
But it should be a little more challenging. See, I'm already running out of breath.
And so Remington's at level 12, and you can see it flashing back and forth, 120 some watts and about 6.7 METs. And so Remington, even though he's in pretty good shape, he's only burning approximately 440 calories per hour on that elliptical. And so please track your progress. Look at display. Are you actually pushing as hard as you think? You might think, well, I just did an hour of cardio, I burned 1,000 calories. Must have. I went hard, I sweat a lot. Meanwhile, sweat means nothing. It doesn't determine how many calories you're burning. Could be just because the room's hot. I literally go to the gym with a fan and I have to change shirts after doing my warm-up. I often record videos and I have to change shirts because I'm sweating just from doing a video. But I highly doubt I'm burning a lot of calories just doing this. I'm sure I'm burning some. Maybe it's 2 METs. But I'm not burning as many calories as if I'm going harder than last time at the gym.
I would rather you come here, do this consistently, than not do cardio at all because you got shin splints from another machine.
It takes being consistent and repetitive and doing it over and over for years. The longer you do this, the better in shape you're going to become.
In the next cardio machine we're gonna cover that I do believe if you wanna burn the maximum amount of calories in the shortest amount of time, the one you should be using is the Stair Stepper.
Well, that's not actually true. It's actually going to be the elliptical of all the machines described because the elliptical is using your arms and your legs. Remember what I said, the more muscles involved, the more calories you can burn. And so you're not going to burn more calories on the stepper than you will on the elliptical. However, a lot of people are going to think they are because this machine is notorious for people leaning forward, hanging on for dear life. You weigh 200 pounds, you lean forward. You break the friggin' device. And you lean on the machine, you're leaning forward, you weigh 200 pounds, but really, because you're leaning so much, you only have to lift 100. And so you're walking away, 100 miles an hour. Look how fast that person is. They burn 1,000 calories an hour. Wow! They go and eat 1,000 calories. The only problem is they only burn 500. Why? Because they were leaning on the machine.
I recommend you be honest with yourself. We get nothing out of lying to ourselves about how hard we can actually go. If you're doing this on level 1 and you realize it's stupid easy, be honest with yourself and raise it up.
And remember, this is all about improvement, about being a better butter burner. And so if you're going at a level 1, 2, 3, 4 right now, try to go 1 level harder. Remember, 1 extra MET is a 10 to 20% decrease in cardiovascular disease.
This one is by far the most bang for your buck. If you can suffer through this for 20 minutes a day, it will drastically speed up your results.
And so let's hold on here. We can't say this is drastically better than all other forms of cardio. For example, an assault bike, you're pedaling and using your arms at the same time. Well, lo and behold, you can burn even more calories.
And you can tell as we're going, I'm already starting to breathe heavy. A good way to know that you're maximizing your cardio is you shouldn't be able to have a comfortable conversation while you're doing it.
And notice Remington is saying he's starting to get out of breath. That is exactly the time when Go2 Max is going to help. And studies do in fact show this exact result. Not studies of mice, human studies, real world studies. This stuff actually works. You have to try it. Can't believe the world hasn't discovered this by now. I can't believe every single UFC fighter, marathon runner, everyone in the world is using Go2 Max. It's unfreaking believable. And so consider, if you take Go2 Max, it's going to allow you to exercise at a greater intensity, as in to go harder. Imagine the improvements it's going to make. Imagine the extra calories you're going to burn. And so although Go2 Max is not technically a fat burner, don't you think it's going to help you to burn fat? Abso-freaking-lutely. And if you see what I do before racing bikes, my ritual, I take in 3 Go2 Max and 3 ActiBuilder every single time. Not only that, I also do it before I go to the gym. Why? Because when I'm at the gym, I'm also doing cardio. And I want to recover greater, and I want to recover faster between sets. I do agonist, antagonist training. I do a set of chest, do a set of back and forth. Not a lot of rest. I'm breathing hard. I want to recover. I want more energy, more stamina, improved fitness. If your goal is to have improved cardiovascular fitness, to lose weight, to be in better shape, then why not give Go2 Max a try?
Like I said, we don't got to kill ourselves. We don't got to sprint. We don't got to max this out and go stupid crazy. But you need to push yourself up to that point, not to complete exertion, but as fast as you can go without killing yourself.
Exactly. You don't need to do HIIT cardio. Not saying you can't, but you don't need to. And for the vast majority of people, all you need to do is steady state or list cardio. Just go at a moderate intensity and do it over time. Hit cardio, leave that for the athletes, those who are trying to maximize their performance.
We're gonna run the maximum amount of calories this way and make the most out of our time in here, baby.
That is different for everyone. The more in shape you are, the higher your heart rate, the longer you can go. Right up to the point where your body is accumulating too much lactic acid that it can't handle it anymore. If you go beyond that, you're gonna get that crazy burn, that pump in the legs, and it's gonna make you wanna stop. And so what can you do? Beta-alanine. That's when beta-alanine really takes hold. When you're pushing yourself beyond your anaerobic threshold, you're starting to get too much lactic acid. That is going to help buffer the lactic acid, allow you to go longer and harder than last time. Especially those doing HIIT cardio or high intensity intervals. That is going to accumulate lactic acid, and if you're using beta-alanine, you're certainly going to go harder than last time.
Admittedly, just being completely honest with you guys, I've always felt that exercise bikes never give me the same type of workout as any of the other cardio machines.
He puts it up and he literally is past 1,000 watts. He says, I've got it in max intensity right here. It goes up to 872, then it passes 1,000. That is a lot of power. Remington's super powerful. And so he actually can burn a lot of calories on the bike. He just hasn't gotten used to it. And so it's all about the adaptation to the exercise. No matter what you do the first time, it's going to be hard. You're not going to be good at it. But if you keep at it, keep practicing harder than last time, you'll soon be able to master your sport.
But this is just not comfortable for me to do. I do not enjoy doing this. It's just not something that I find myself actually enjoying.
But listen, he doesn't enjoy it. And I've always stated, do the exercise you enjoy. And so Remington doesn't like riding bikes, so he doesn't enjoy it. But notice how he discourages all his clients from doing it. Remington doesn't like it, doesn't mean his other clients won't. Imagine if Coach Greg hired Remington and said, hey, I want you to do a diet and training program. Well, Coach Greg, I don't think you should do any bike riding because it doesn't burn many calories. What? And so you can see, it's very important to customize your program to understand your audience. If somebody likes the bike, then most certainly they should continue to do it.
Personally, I don't find myself doing this at all. If you like exercise bikes, comment below if you think I'm doing something wrong, but for me, these have just never really hit the mark.
And so what is my advice for Remington? Well, if you do want to try the bike, firstly, put the seat up, it's too low. Next, decrease the intensity and also pedal faster than last time.
Anytime I row, like I just did it for a few minutes, I start to get fatigued in my back, my delts start to burn a little bit because you're also simultaneously getting the back workout in.
If you go too hard, of course, you can't do it for a long time. Go slower. Go at a pace that's comfortable for you. And so if you're doing the rowing machine and 2 minutes in, you have to stop, it's because you're going too hard.
I can't prop my phone up and watch Netflix while I do it, so it's not something I would really want to do. I'm a big fan. Get on the machine, watch the show, so that whatever you're watching is done, you're done with your cardio.
When I'm racing bikes on Zwift, I have my headphones on, I'm listening to music, and when my favorite song comes on, I can push that much harder. And studies actually support this. And so please, if you want to listen to music when doing cardio, by all means, be my guest.
If you don't have access to cardio machines, gym equipment, whatever, to get your cardio in, you always have the earth, Mother Nature.
And so Remington, he has a great message. He's encouraging you to move, get more steps, go outside, go for a walk. You don't need gym equipment to get in a good cardiovascular session. If you do cardio, you're going to burn calories, going to help you lose weight, going to add years to your life, make you feel better about yourself, will decrease stress, improve your mental and physical health. And so why not? Why not give cardio a try?
If I don't get at least 15,000 steps a day, I feel like I'm not doing something right.
And what studies support is that 12,000 steps, that is about the maximum that you need. Anything beyond that, that's just icing on the cake. You don't need to do that.
And the final form of cardio I'm gonna go over, the one I've been doing since the beginning of the year that I absolutely love, is boxing.
And so you can see, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
The rock knows, it doesn't matter what cardio you do. You just need to find something to enjoy. Something that makes you happy. And so hopefully this information helped. I know there's a lot to know about cardio, a lot to know about health and fitness, but hey, I'm here to help. Hopefully I was able to educate you. And remember, looking for the supplements described in the video or any harder than last time supplements, use code Greg, 10% off. Also, the Circle Diet book, the cookbook, training book, coaching plans by me and my team. Click the link in the description. Watch the tube loops, subscribe, click the bell button, comment for the algorithm. Follow me on IG, Greg Doucette IPU Pro, and until next time, I am out.